We have opened too many Kaldheim packs, and now whenever I open one, I have so many duplicates. But I love the set, so I have pulled the unique cards from 3 packs together in this bundle for this video. Starting with this beautiful token from Alexander Mokov, the 4/4 Vigilance Flyer Angel that made angels feel so overpowered in Kaldheim. Being able to attack so easily is amazing on any token. The art shows us an angel descending down, knowing that the Valkyries of Kaldheim come in 2 flavors. We learn that this is an angel of hope that comes in for our help. One that lives to find the worthy warriors of Kaldheim, and this splendid sight would leave any warrior stunned for the moment, let's be honest. But afterwards we shall fight valiantly for her approval. Continuing onwards with Spectral Steel, we see a warrior augmented with the strength of an ancestor. A warrior that has fallen before, and their weapon is strengthening our warrior of the present. Your creature will get power and defense, and when this enchantment has died, you will return another boon. Or more logically, the actual sword your warrior was holding back to your hand. The art features a warrior looking into the future with empty eyes, showing us that the warriors of Kaldheim fight with grim determination. Okay, enough entry-level knowledge of Kaldheim. Snowfield Sinkhole is one of the duo snow lands of Kaldheim. This one features a large hole in the ground, with burning smoke still coming out of it. We learn where it comes from the flavor. Young Fatima bellowed to the cosmos, daring the gods to punish her hubris. Well, she got their attention, as you can see. This is told by the Kana storyteller Eskeen. The Kana are people that are forced to wander forests of Kaldheim for eternity, and because of this they started to tell increasingly unlikely stories. If one was to see a hole in the ground where black smoke would come from, they would definitely imagine it being a comet that came down from angry gods. On Kaldheim this could be true. The gods here are rather petty, as we shall soon learn more about. From Scorn Lands to Scorching Lands, we have Scorn Effigy here. It is a card that you can foretell, the first one, actually. This means that you may pay 2 to exile the card. You then get to play the card from exile. This one can be played for 0 mana by that time, making it a card you almost always want to foretell. This is an interesting design, as a 2/3 sounds insignificant, but the flexibility of playing it at any time sorcery speed makes this one extra cool. The flavor tells us that it remembers every wound it has seen or suffered and nothing else, meaning that this scarecrow is experiencing pain every moment of his life, showing a lot of pain on a warlike world like Kaldheim. The art shows us this scarecrow looking around the corner. It is laden with runes, showing us how cursed this effigy is, and all the weapons through it, together with how curious the thing still seems to be, is a combination that makes me feel uncomfortable, to say the least. For this type of video I get to pair cards. This time I feel like the scarecrow befits the Immersturm Curse lands very well. These lands, ridden with pain and suffering, are perfect for the effigy, because of the lore of the demons of Kaldheim. These demons become stronger with every bit of pain that gets sent to them through runes that look exactly like the ones on our effigy from before. The card is tapped, black mana source that becomes a lightning strike to face that forces a discard. Value on a land has become stronger, giving mono control decks a way to become even more focused, making this land stronger than it used to be. Continuing on with our theme of demonic gifts, a card that strengthens your horned warrior, enabling her to wear massive axe, and then when it dies it gets to return to the battlefield. Dying is no option when you serve a demon lord on Kaldheim, even though dying on Kaldheim is the highest good. It began as a flavor on the tongue, like a bloody morsel of roast boar, but soon the power was a conflagration in her veins. Keikai Kotaki did a great job of making flashy notable parts to discard, like the horns and the axe, and combining them with the deep feeling of an arcing back lady with scorched hands from how much power she is wielding. The demons like pain, and are served and fed by it, so making their loyalists stronger. Helping them to inflict pain while they hurt themselves is the perfect deal or gift for a demon. I never cared for the destroy a flying creature cards. They are strong when they work and it feels sucky when they don't. This one is meant to kill an angel, but it is used on an eagle in the story itself. We see how scarce food can be on the snow-ridden world. Here we see that Finn the Fangbearer went up a mountain to kill a big bird with his spear. First of all, making a spear like this is very hard work, so losing it in the snow would be detrimental. And second of all, he waited there on the mountain until he was under the snow, which must have taken at least a day of sitting in the snow. All for chicken wings. Remember this story when you next go to get a bucket of chicken wings. Here we see another saga. I love how deep these get. For 4 mana you get to mill 3 cards and put an elf or Tyvar from the graveyard to the battlefield. Showing us the elven philosophy coming from the Shadow Elves. It is to wait, bide your time, and that eventually the fallen will return. The fallen, or the bound, meaning their gods bound in the 7 trees of Jaspara, and the bound in Koma the Cosmos Serpent, who is bound in the cosmos itself. They will return, and so did Harald return to strengthen the elves in the 2nd chapter, strengthening all the elves, along with the wood elves that you control under one banner. What is their goal? It is to reclaim Kaldheim lands, instead of only waiting. They strive to attack other lands, and under the leadership of Harald, King of the Elves, they will indeed attack into the plans of a nefarious planeswalker in just a bit of time. They will do this, and as the elves do, they will rain fire and arrows or -1 counters on their enemies before decimating their life totals. The cycle of runes is mostly known in Standard for being enchantments that draw you cards. Still, the runes signify more on the world of Kaldheim. Here they show aspects from each of the lands of Kaldheim. Not the realms, but basically the kingdoms without kings. The black rune stands for what the demon-loving Skele stand for, which is to grant death to their enemies mostly. Interestingly, all the other runes grant powers to the wearers, while the black one is the only one focused on death touching the enemy. Draugr Recruiter shows us another mechanic from Kaldheim, which is Boast. Here we see it on the resident zombie type of Kaldheim, the Nordic Draugr. These zombies have been resurrected as a curse for their disillusioned king, and now they let more and more valuable warriors rise for eternal undead. Something the people of Kaldheim would hate to be. It might be strange to think of a boasting zombie, but this is a fun joke on how people of Kaldheim get recruited. You cannot stand against us, but when you fall, you will stand with us. The people of Kaldheim appreciate some boasting, meaning that when you do boast, others will be more inclined to follow you. Still, no one on Kaldheim would want to join the undead, as they want to join the Hall of Heroes after their valiant deaths. So the only way to recruit someone is to attack them first, hence this recruiter. They need to attack first, and then for 4 mana you may return a creature card to your hand from the graveyard. This cleric will take you with her into her eternal army, and you will never reach your end destination. You chose to continue onwards, and now instead of the cleric lady, you get the bald-bearded man to recruit you. See, if you don't willingly join, the Draugr will wait for you to die in the snow or ice. When you die though, you will be refrigerated in exile with an ice counter on you, ready for later use. Then, snow mana may return you with any color, as the snow in Kaldheim is a reflection of the cosmos, and you will forcefully return to life from these zombies. Freezing on Kaldheim is the worst possible way of dying, as you are sure to sometime return as a zombie, and having your soul locked in this state is never a boon. I want to look at the symbolism of the art from David Raposa. We see a zombie, of course. He is in a fancy stance, which is always cool. You can look at the massive detail on this necromancer's robes, which is befitting of rares, as there is more time for these cards than otherwise. You then see the teeth of ice around the necromancer, signaling that the frost's bite is like a monster that will consume you, and then you see the shape of an eye, which might be the cave's entrance, which shows us that whatever is controlling these zombies is always watching you through their eyes. Yes, be strong on Kaldheim, or else. Here we have our second major land for this set, the port of Kaldfell. This harbor city holds loads of gold, or so it is said, and at the very least it used to be a rich city of trade. The tapped blue source has the same secondary ability as the demon land, though this zombie-themed one, you guessed it, lets you mill 4 and then lets you return a creature to the battlefield for 7 tapped lands, meaning that this is very much a late game ability, but one with significant potential. A 2-mana instant that lets you return a card, but you can foretell it to later use it for only 1 mana. This might not seem as significant as paying extra for drawing, but a 1-mana spell that could save your life or even be lethal in some cases is a massive blowout if your opponent is not expecting it. We also see a magnificent moment in the art. Here we see a shapeshifter from Littjara opening a portal through one of the realms. This is a special ability that only the shapeshifters have. They are born from one lake in the distorted lakes of Littjara. Here the world is so strange that the shapeshifters start to defy reality. In this way, they get used to the mind-altering effect of the cosmos that is between the realms of Kaldheim, enabling them to semi-planeswalk within Kaldheim. An interesting aspect of a world that shows possible insight into the entire multiverse. The shapeshifters of Littjara love to travel, mostly because they are curious and strive to mostly learn more and more about the world around it. They do so by changing into the being they try to learn about. It is said that they live in tribes of humans and other creatures for years without them noticing. In this way you can see why these shapeshifters are stronger and learn more when they are with more of their kin. Because then they are more convincing as a group. Even when there is a large group of humans, it's easier to blend in, because the shapeshifters will have more to learn from them. The shapeshifters have the ability to move through the cosmos, but there are more creatures that can see into it. The gods, of course, but also the giants of Kaldheim have the ability to gaze into the cosmos. It is said that the giants are so tall that when they stand on their highest mountains, they can look into the cosmos. Therefore, this 2-mana draw 1 from 3 cards is replayable for 1 blue when you have a giant to play. Meaning that with the giant, you will be able to see more of the infinite wisdom to be gained through the cosmos. Also, like with the Draugr Necromancer, an eye is signifying the ability to see. A simple symbol, but a beautifully fitting one for the MTG card frame. When I opened my man Agar again, I had to feature the boy here once more with an improved camera. This man is special to me, because I have done one of my first deep dives on the big one. This is the son of a king, and the son of the most feared ice magician in all the giant lands. The two sides are supposedly at war, but Agar will one day bring the two lands together, because he is one half of each country and a strong combination of them. His skill is that whenever you overkill a creature with a giant, wizard or spell, you get to draw. This is, of course, great for an uncommon, but what I like is the fact that with a damage-based board wipe, you can draw catastrophic amounts of cards. You have to imagine Agar and his army conjuring up a huge fireball, dropping it on some Kaldheim tribe, and then Agar gets a massive insurgence of knowledge from the cosmos all of a sudden. Yes, this junker is very wise. Wolfskull Jack did a great job of portraying a dumb giant as the people see him, but we know that this giant is a smarty one. The third major land of this bundle pack, and I am starting to feel weird about getting so much of them. Just kidding, it's a cool one from the land of the dwarves. The Golden City of Axgard. This white tap land has the Boros colors of the dwarves, and in a city of golden weapons and magical runes, solely meant for the heavy swords of these dwarves, this land together with 4 mana will have you search for any aura or equipment. It lets you put it into your hand from the library. A very powerful ability, and it's weird that this one is so much cheaper than the other ones. Of course, we know that a land of dwarves with infinite gold should be powerful. We move back to the theme of giants for a moment with this dwarf. This one is another boast creature, but this time his epic adventures about how he liberated his friend. No one else had the spine for it, so I ran right between the giant's legs and hauled poor Valdir back to Axgard. I hope Valdir is okay right now, and otherwise, I love the art from Zezao Sen and how dynamic this running pose feels without it being over the top. This feels immensely natural, and of course note that we see the dwarf running out of his golden gate here, showing that he is probably off to another adventure. So it would be logical, or not logical, to see him sprinting yet anyways. Great choices overall here. Valor of the Worthy is a great show of the Kaldheim value of death. If I am to die, let it be a hero's death. This warrior has his resolution ready. You can see it from the shining on his forehead. He is so ready to do what he must do. The epic axe design of Matthias Kolrose is a showing of the slick Norse design of the people here, and the card is fitting as it strengthens, but then leaves behind a spirit to be guided to where this proud warrior belongs after his fierce battle. This cute puppy follows the same values as the people of Kaldheim. He is fierce and fearless and will one day enter the Hall of Heroes, even though it's guarded by a huge cat. This doggy is not afraid of fire, so he will also not be afraid of a mythical lion. No worries. We end this one with a literal god, the god of battle, Halvar. This man does not lead, he just does the example part. He likes to do what he should say, and therefore he is the most trustworthy creature that anyone can ever see. The 4/4/4/4 also enables you to reattach auras or equipments for free at the beginning of combat, and then lets his army strike twice whenever they take one of his weapons with them. This god was once found in the nest of a big bird by the bird god Alrond. He then was immediately left as a baby to defend the dwarven king. I think Halvar hated to make promises from that moment on. Halvar was also the one to defeat the old elven gods. His axe was said to split everything, so he even split the elven people into dark and wood elves. Halvar is also one of the few gods to feature in the story, when he would defend basically everyone against all the zombies of all the realms by holding them up at the bridge. The Tyrite Sword of the Realms is one of those weapons that can open any rift. Halvar uses it to planeswalk between realms, leaving new omen paths behind. These would signify dark times coming ahead, according to the Kaldheim people. Probably true, for Halvar only comes when someone needs protection. The sword could also close a rift, so it's also the glue gun of the cosmos itself. Tyrite is a material that would turn any mortal completely into Tyrite. Only one dwarf succeeded in only having his hand turned into the material, and he was the one to create this sword. The rifts in the back are interpretations of rifts too, and I love that Lee Sedewon gave the sword the blue hue of Halvar himself. The card itself strengthens a creature, gives it vigilance, and when they die, they return to the battlefield. That's really it. And that's really it for this video too. I want to thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this format, where I combine packs into usable videos, and let me know of which cards you would like to see deep dives. Anyone counts. Again, thank you, and have a nice day.